Right. God says, look, if you love me, keep my commandments. Right. 2 John 6. Because that shows if you love God.
I wanna be famous.
Just like when you look at the brothers' shirts around here, these fringes, it's not hard to wear. He said he gonna put curtains on them people. So, is a curtain a good thing or bad? It's a bad thing.
My enemies, the power before me. I wanna be famous. I wanna be famous.
If you want to see the kingdom of heaven, if you want to walk through one of those 12 gates,
just like
you gotta keep
David,
God's
riding in my
commandments.
chariot. I'm tryna rule them all. Sending letters across the world to all my brothers, just like Paul. Mess with Israel, now you fall. Glory is through the Most High.
Somebody in the Bible asked that very question you asked. That very word you just said. You said, how can I?
It's the book of Acts, chapter 8:28. Was returning and sitting in his chariot, reading Isaiah the prophet. Then the Spirit said unto Philip, go near and join thyself to this chariot. Verse 30. And Philip ran hither to him and heard him read the prophet Isaiah, and said, understandest thou what thou readest?
So he asked, he said, do you understand what thou readest? So do you understand what you read? Okay. Watch.
And he said, how can I, except some man guide me?
How can I unless some man guide me? I need someone to teach me. I need someone to show me. Right. Just like when you was born, you had some father figure, some mother figure teach you how to, put on your shoes, how to tie your shoes, or how to put your clothes. That's what Christ was talking about. Unless a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. He wasn't talking about becoming back like a child. Your frame of thinking got to be retaught all over. Your understanding of the Bible has to be retaught to you all over.
Right.
And that goes right back to what we were saying. You just got to get on the right side. All the questions you ask is right over here on the other side.
Right.
That's it. The Most High is calling you today.
Malachi chapter 3 and verse 16. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another.
Them that fear the Lord, I'm talking to these brothers often throughout the week. Hey, how you doing, brother? What's going on? I speak to these brothers because they're my brothers and I fear the Most High God. So I keep the commandments, so I got to call and check on my brothers. Just like if you was to come on this side, what's your name? Odell. Hey, Odell, what's going on? Shalom, brother, how you doing? How your week been going, brother? Oh, man, you got this and that. Oh, man, bro, I hate to hear that. You need anything? Read.
And the Lord hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord and that thought upon his name. This is the book of Malachi chapter 3 and verse 16.
Bring it out.
Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him of them that feared the Lord, and that thought upon his name.
Right, brother. The Most High gonna put a book if you keep it in contact with your brothers. Goes back to what we were saying before. You just got to get on the right side. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And all your questions is right over here. You need to be over here teaching. Teaching your brothers and sisters once you get built up.
Right.
Right? What you got?
I got a pot.
Uh-huh.
All right. He asked me, do I congregate? Right. And I said no. And the reason why I said no, it's like we believe. I thought we believed, but I guess I'm going to be changed.
Right.
He's not in the church anymore. Right. So we congregate, we call ourselves praying together. Right. This and that. My beliefs started.
I know. Right.
And at first, Right. But then it got a little better, so I thought that lately, like this morning, I get up.
Right.
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 So whatever you want to call it.
Right. So between you and your brother, y'all having now, the Bible is bringing up
well, I think he, correct me if I'm wrong, and to me it's a small thing. Like we prayed for my daughter.
Right.
She with a young man that, you know.
Matthew chapter 10 and verse 34. Think not that I have come to set peace on earth.
God said, I ain't come to set peace.
I came not to set peace, send peace, but a sword.
What's the sword? His word. His word.
For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and against daughters, and against mothers, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me.
As you can see, the Most High said, I'm telling you from...
So you say...
Right. Go ahead.
The moment I started telling you, my daughter,
Right.
my body,
Right. Right.
that's why me and my money relationship has soured.
You see? Exactly.
I'm not even keeping all the commandments yet, so why is that happening?
And imagine when you start keeping all the commandments. But it was already written. Guess what? What you lose on the other end, you gain on this end.
That's right.
Look around you. This your brothers.
That's
I'm going to tell you right now, once you cross over, you're going to lose brothers and sisters.
Right.
You're going to lose friends because you want to follow behind Christ. And Christ, man, right? It's some more on it. Watch this.
He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me.
Hold on. Christ said it's not what?
Is not worthy of me.
Hey, brother, that's what it means to be reborn again. That's hard to swallow when you're in a Christian church. Hold on, you telling me I can't be with my friends anymore? My family, I got to kind of separate myself? That's what it means to be born again. You want to see the kingdom, right? Yes, I want to get in the kingdom. Hell with grandmother. Hell with mama. I'm falling behind Christ. Hell with the kids too. They don't want to fall in line. I got to keep pushing.
Right.
That's the mindset you got to be in.
How you keep caring for your brother. I mean, love can make.
Hey, it's just like what the officer just said. That's true. Hey, give me Luke 8:21. Because this is the thing. When you come in, it's like what he said. You're going to lose some people. You don't automatically cut them off. As far as you don't become a hermit, because it's just like this. They might not get it right then and there. Some people it takes a little bit more time. So what you have to do is you have to be that light that shines to them, because they've known you all of their life, correct? And they'll be like, well, dang, what's your name again? Odell? Khalil. So they'd be like, damn, Odell, he done changed. So if he didn't stop smoking, he didn't stop doing this, he didn't stop doing that, maybe I can do it. But first, you have to change. First, you have to change. Let me show you something real quick.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 8 and verse 21.
Bring it on.
And he answered and said unto them,
Now, this is Christ. This is Christ.
my mother and my brother are these which hear the word of God and do it.
And what?
And do it.
So when the officers told you, like, hey, you see these men out here, these are your brothers.
He answered and said unto them, my mother and my brother are these which hear the word of God.
So my brothers and my sisters, even my mothers, are those who hear God's commandments.
That's right.
Because they understand all of this stuff. They not only just hear it, but they do what?
They do it.
And they what?
They do it.
And they do it. Because it's just like this. In your biological family, if you come into some money, you already, like most black folks, we already know a lot of the people in my family are going to ask me for money. They're going to try to take advantage of me. Well, in this truth, according to the scriptures, if you come into some money, we're not going to come start begging you for something. If anything, we're going to be happy for you, because now you can pay your bills, you can do X, Y, and Z, and it won't be a strain on you.
Right.
So you get what I'm saying? Is that the family status changes. And even with your biological family, we're not saying cut them off and ostracize them. No, what we're saying is this. You must change first. Then they will see the change in you, and then Lord's will, they come in. But first, you must change. Give me that 8 in Judith 8:24. Judith 8:24. And that's the one thing that we encourage brothers when we come out. Yeah, we might sound a little harsh. Yeah, we might sound a little rough. But you know some of these Negroes out in the street, they need that. Just like, I'm going to be honest, I needed that. I needed somebody to pull me off to the side and be like, you need to straighten up or you're going to die. So what we're doing when we come out here is we're telling these men, grow up. Literally, grow up. We should not have to have a whole nother nation of people be babysitters in our communities to tell us what we can and can't do, what we should and shouldn't do. We should have enough common sense amongst us men to know how to govern ourselves. Now, according to the country that we live in, yeah, they should be there. But at the same time, we should be able to look out on the streets, and when we see these young men out here selling drugs, we should be the ones telling them to stop.
Right.
Because in us growing up and telling the men to stop in the neighborhoods, maybe that will cut down on our young men killing each other.
Right.
Does that make sense? Read what you got.
It's the book of Judith, chapter 8 and verse 24. Now therefore, O brother, let us show an example to our brethren.
So the Bible is saying you must be an example. But first thing you must do, you got to straighten up. You got to start congregating. I already see you're growing a beard. You got to wear fringes. You got to change your diet. And a lot of people think that the diet, by you changing the stuff that you eat, is to restrict you, make you feel bad. No, bro, when I started keeping these, this is me personally, when I started keeping these commandments and I changed my diet, it helped me lower blood pressure. It helped me health-wise. Because think about it, in the black community, that's where you see the highest blood pressure. That's where you see the highest stroke. That's where you see the STDs, the gout, all of these physical ailments. Why? Those are penalties for breaking God's commandments. You get what I'm saying? Finish reading what you got.
Because their hearts depend upon us. Now therefore, O brother, let us show an example to our brethren. Because their hearts depend upon us. And the sanctuaries, and the house, and the altar rest upon us.
So the Bible is saying it's not just the other men out here who's looking at you. It could be the women and the kids who are looking at you. Because think about this. A lot of us young black men are growing up with the mentality, I want to be a player. I want to be a pimp. I want to have women in different cities, women in different parts of the city. Well, check this out. If the young men in the neighborhood, if you're known for that, if they see you, hey, you know what? I'm going to make such and such an honest woman. I'm going to marry this sister because the Bible says so.
That's right.
So when they see you do it, they're like, you know, this man just taught me a couple years ago that I need to have a bunch of different women. Now I see he's getting married. He's got some kids. He's doing the right thing. Maybe I want to do that. He looks happy. I want to do that. He ain't got to worry about STDs. He ain't got to worry about all this different stuff. Maybe I want that. So when young men and even young women, because this is another thing, the women in our neighborhoods, they look at the men.
Right.
They probably won't admit it, but they look at the men. When we straighten up, they'll straighten up.
That's right.
Because they look at us. It's just like some of them grew up without fathers. So the father figure that they're looking at are those older men in the communities. And in our communities, those be the main ones who get high, who get drunk, and those are the main ones who are hitting on the young women. Read that again.
Judith chapter 8 and verse 24. Now therefore, O brother, let us show an example to our brethren, because their hearts depend upon us.
The minds of the people depend on us. And it's not just, I'm not talking about just black men. I'm talking about the Hispanic and Native American men also.
Right.
This is not just a black thing. It's an Israelite thing.
That's
and
right.
in order for us to come together first, the first thing we must start doing is keeping God's commandments.
That's right.
And in us keeping God's commandments, it'll change the way we think. If you change the way you think, you'll start changing the way you treat your brother.
Right.
Just like when we walk down the street, I don't see a nigga. I don't see a threat. I see my brother.
Right.
You tell you who I see when I see you? I see this man right here. And that's what we gotta change. Because all our life we were taught like this man right here, they're looking at each other like enemies. That's why we have no problem shooting each other dead in the street. We have no problem selling each other drugs. I have no problem. If I hate myself, I have no problem hating you.
Right.
And that's what we got from this guy right here. But with this guy right here, he's the one that teaches us how to love each other. But first, we got to grow up. First, you got to admit that you're wrong. Then you got to be like, you know, how do I fix this thing? And it's not just you, but it can start with you. Because a lot of brothers think like, man, I don't know if I can do that. It's a big job. You can tell you where you start. You start by congregating. You get around like-minded men. Matter of fact, give me that in Sirach. What is that, 37?
Yeah,
37 and 12. 37 and 12.
I'm gonna have to go see my client at the hospital.
Yeah, I got you. But you got a flyer though, right?
Yes, sir.
Bro, check that flyer out. Because check this out. Let me see it real quick. Come here. Turn it around. There's the address and all the contact info right there. So, and check this out. When you call that number at any time, it's going to be me or this brother right here that answers the phone. And that's our job. Do we congregate? Today. It's Saturday. No, we come out here and teach the people early in the morning. And check this out. If you notice, are there any buckets out here? Have we asked you for anything? No. The only thing we ask you to do is change.
That's right.
Which is free. All the literature that we give out, free. The website, everything that you see up here, free. The only thing we want from our people is to grow the hell up and change.
That's right.
That is it. And that's free. It might cost you something later on. It might cost you some family members. But for every brother in the street that you lose, you'll gain 5 in this truth.
That's right.
Sounds like a good deal, right? I'll trade 1 for 5.
That's right.
Read what you got.
Sirach chapter 37 and verse 12. But be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments.
So how do you know that a man of God will keep the commandments? Because read that again.
Be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest
Who you know. You know for a fact that he what?
to keep the commandments of the Lord.
That he keeps the commandments. How do you know a man keeps the commandments? How would you know? That's not a trick question. You'll see him. You'll see how he treats other people. You'll see how he walks through the neighborhood. You'll see how he treats his family, his wife. You'll see it. That's why we read it in Judith 8:24. It's up to us to be an example. People are paying attention to you. You might not think like, I'm just a regular guy. You'll be surprised at how many people are looking at you. Especially with you being an older brother. You will be surprised. When you change something, everybody else is going to change. Because this is the one thing a lot of people don't realize about us, and I'll just say black men in general. We're very influential. When we do something, all of the other nations follow. Because check this out. When we started sagging our pants, what did everybody start doing? When we turn our hat backwards, what did everybody else start doing? When our women started wearing pants and skin-tight stuff, what did the other nations start doing? Same thing. We are very influential. But what happens is this. We use that influence as evil. God says you're supposed to use that for good. You get what I'm saying? Read that part again in Sirach. Read it one more time.
But be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry.
So that's another part. Whenever you go through something, especially in this truth, you're not going to go through it by yourself. When you go through hard times, a lot of brothers, what they do is that when they go through something, they want to withdraw themselves away from everybody. No, that's the time that you get closer to your brothers. That's the time that you call out to God. That's the time that God hears you. But we as a people, we've been taught to hate each other for so long, we really don't know how to love each other. Just like the brothers today have been showing our people love by correcting. Matter of fact, give me that Leviticus 19. You know what I want, 17. And a lot of our people, they don't understand it. They think that I'm grown, you can't tell me nothing. No, the fact is you're grown, you should already know this.
Right.
It's your job, you should have been teaching me. But now that I have the understanding, God and let us know, now we're going to show you.
That's
So
right.
that way, from that point on, you can go and show the other brothers and sisters. Does that make sense? Read what you got.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
What does the word rebuke mean, you know? Let's take a guess. That's not wrong. Correct. There you go. You hit the nail on the head. Correct. I just want to say the other words, they weren't wrong. They weren't completely wrong. But it basically, rebuke just means to correct. Because how old are you? 51. See, I'm 40. And where I grew up, you know, the neighborhood I grew up in, I didn't grow up here. Where I grew up at is if I got a whooping by the neighbor down the street. So by the time I made it home, what did happen when I got home? I done got another whooping. That's correction that I got down the street. So now I know subconsciously I can't go out here and do the stuff I want to do. Somebody's going to see me and I'm going to get a whooping. And then when I get home, I'm going to get another whooping. That's correction.
Right.
That's love. Read that from the top.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
So it tells you don't hate your brother in your heart, but you correct them. So let me ask you this, trick question. Do the pastors, and I'm not talking about all of them, but those who know, do some of these pastors and some of these people out here show our people love in these churches? Why would you say that? You're not telling them the truth. You're not correcting them. Just like when you see two men want to get married, two women want to get married, you know a man in there shitting on his wife and you're not saying nothing, they're wrong as hell. Because they're benefiting from it. They're making something off of it. Us up here, that's why all of this stuff is free. I'm going to tell you the truth raw and uncut. And if you don't like it, take that up with God. That's my job, is to tell you raw and uncut. Because why? Because I love you enough to tell you the truth. Finish that up. 17.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. Verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him.
Why would it say I don't want sin, that I don't want you to suffer sin? Why would it say that? What's the consequence of sin? Death. So by me correcting you and telling you, hey, what you're doing right now is wrong, I'm not condemning you, but I'm warning you. In the Bible, it's also called judging. People say you can't judge me. Yes, we can. That's our job. We can't condemn you. All that means is I'm warning you, telling you, hey, don't do this, because why? The wages of sin is, now what is sin? You know what sin is, right? What is sin? Trick question, trick question. Bro, see, look, man, look. See, you quoted it verbatim, too. You know the commandment. So that's what I'm saying. This is what I want you to do. I'm not looking for you. You don't have to come today. I want you to show up today. But what I want you to do is this. I want you to continue to study. And I want to see you at the school because you already know. You're ahead in thinking than most brothers that we run into. And that's the thing that I love seeing. I love seeing my brothers studying and reading on their own. I love that when we come up, I ask you a question, you already know it. But this is the thing, you got to actually do it. Give me James, 122. Give me James 122. Because there's a difference between you hearing it and doing it. A lot of our people, they read these flyers, they look at the videos, and they hear it. But they have a disconnect when it comes to actually doing it. You get what I'm saying? And the love part is not just you hearing it, it's you doing it. Because case in point, did Ike Turner love Tina Turner? So you said not by his actions. So in his actions, what did he show her? Love or hatred? But he always said that I love you, right? At least that's what I got out of the movie. So if you have a husband that says he loves his wife on a daily basis, but he's constantly beating her in the head, he really hates her. So your actions show that love. So if you say you love God, your actions must line up with what you're saying. Read what you got.
James chapter 1 and verse 22.
Bring it out.
But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only.
And do what?
And not hearers only.
So don't just hear it. Because I'm telling you, bro, everything that you have said has been right on. So I know you're a hearer of the word, but do it. And this is the thing. If when you study, you run into some other camps, if you want to congregate with other camps, keep the commandments.
That's right.
This is not a campaign for you just to join us. What we want you to do is to change. So whether you're with us or not, the next time I see you on the street, I want to see you with fringes on, and I don't want to see you on the Sabbath out buying and selling. I'm not saying that you're doing it, but that's the thing is I want to see you change. And most brothers think that this is a campaign for you to come with us. No, we just want you to change.
Right.
We want you to be that beacon of light in the hood
Right.
to make other brothers change. What you got?
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.